ओके झालं हा युट्यूब लाईव्ह.
हॅलो मिस येत आहेत हा त्यांना येईल का? हॅलो गुड इव्हनिंग मिस.
We'll start, Stavina.
मी just
Participants are in.
1 minute, just sharing YouTube link.
41 are in.
Yes, still 3 are waiting. Miss 59 are in. Miss, can we start? Hello. Hello. Sheetal Miss,
Yes, start.
can we start? Nikhil sir.
Yes, you all can start.
नमस्कार। महाविद्यालय की पर्यवेक्षिका शीतल कोरड़कर मैम के अनुमति से आज का कार्यक्रम हम लोग शुरुआत कर रहे हैं। शुभ संध्या। आज भूतपूर्व राष्ट्रपति वैज्ञानिक भारत रत्न डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम सर का जन्मदिन। संयुक्त राष्ट्र संगठन ने साल 2010 में 15 अक्टूबर विश्व छात्र दिवस घोषित किया। इस विश्व छात्र दिवस के अवसर पर पद्मश्री भाऊ साहब वर्तक कॉलेज और एनजी वर्तक जूनियर कॉलेज वाचन प्रेरणा दिन मना रहे हैं। आज के इस दिन हमें उपदेश करने के लिए महाविद्यालय की अध्यापिका जिन्होंने कलाम सर के विविध पुस्तकों का पठन किया है, मैं आज के इस कार्यक्रम में मिसेस उल्रिका रॉड्रिक जी का स्वागत करता हूं और उनको विनती करता हूं कि वो सभी छात्रों को मार्गदर्शन करें और अपने विचार प्रकट करें।
Thank you so much, Nikhil sir. A warm welcome to all of you present here today. It is a privilege given to me by our dearest principal, Mrs. Sarika Rawat, our supervisor, Mrs. Sheetal Koradkar, and the organizing committee for this event, Mrs. Stevina and Nikhil sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity that you have given me to share my views on this auspicious day. As we all know that today is the 15th of October, a day which has set a mark in Indian history. And why has it set a mark? It has set a mark because on this day, APJ Abdul Kalam was born. He was a people's president because he had a vision for the future and he worked with a mission for today. And that is the reason why after he passed away, this day, from that year onwards, has been celebrated not only to mark his birth anniversary, but it is celebrated as World Student Day. As it was rightly stated by him in one of his address to a wide range of masses, he said that on the day that I pass away, on the day that I die, you will not declare a public holiday, but instead you will work an extra day. And the reason why he said that, because he believed that hard work pays off. He believed that if you work today instead of tomorrow, you will be certainly rewarded. Today, in this year 2020, even though this day 15th October is not celebrated with the same zeal, is not celebrated with the same fervor, because of the lockdown that we are into, because of the COVID-19 situation that we are into, this COVID and this lockdown, it has not stopped us from going ahead. Take into consideration, we as teachers, take into consideration you as students. Even though we are in the comfort zones of our respective households, have we stopped taking lectures? No. Have we stopped attending lectures? No. Have we stopped imparting knowledge? No. Have we stopped learning? No. We have moved on. And that is the reason why this day, 15th October, has not lost its importance today, even in the year 2020. So in order to find out whether this lockdown, whether this COVID situation has really imparted us with something good, whether it has really benefited us something well, I will take a small little quiz with you all, because if this lockdown has not done anything good to us, it has certainly benefited us in one realm and in one area, and that is making optimum use of the virtual platform that internet has provided to us. If you see today, in order to take our lectures, we use platforms like Zoom, we use platforms like Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, various other platforms in order to share our notes, in order to get knowledge from others. So in this virtual platform, I'm pretty much sure that in the comfort zone of your households, you must have learned to multitask, not physically, but multitask, opening various windows into your mobile phones at the same time. So in order to put that multitasking of yours into action or into test, there is a small little quiz that I will begin my session with. So in order to make this quiz interesting, I will request all the students in this platform, whether you are with us in Zoom or whether you are with us on YouTube Live, to keep your search engines on, okay? So if you are an ardent lover of Google Chrome, you can open Google Chrome side by side. If you are taking use of DuckDuckGo, you can keep that search engine on. As soon as I place my first question, you will type the right answer in the chat box. You will not unmute yourself, but you will only type your answer in the chat box. So let us see who has made the optimum use of this virtual platform that we were provided with because of this lockdown area. Okay, so I hope that all of you are ready and set with your search engines on simultaneously in your mobile phones. So the first question, what was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's full name? You can copy paste it from your search engines quickly and you can paste it here. Let me see who is the first one to get the answer. What was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's full name? Okay, so Pushpak Bohit, he has answered with the correct answer. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's full name was Abul Pakir Jainuluddin Abdul Kalam. Very good, Pushpak. Okay, so now we go on to our next question. Which year was he born? I am implying Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Which year was he born? 1931. Very good. So Aditi Mishra, she was prompt enough to give this answer. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was born on 15th October 1930. Okay. Moving on to our next question. What was Dr. Kalam's place of birth? I need the place, I need the state as well. I need the place, I don't want only the state. Okay, so Ruchika, she has answered correctly. Rameshwaran, Tamil Nadu, and also Aditi Mishra, she has given the complete answer. Rameshwaram, that is in Tamil Nadu, this was his place of birth. Very good. Moving on to our next question, and that's the last question. What was the nickname given to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? What was the nickname? Very good. Ruchika has again been successful in multitasking on her mobile phone and giving us the right answer. He was nicknamed as Missile Man. Very good. So I am 100% sure with the kind of responses that I am getting in the chat box, you have certainly mastered very well over your tasks of multitasking on your mobile phones in this lockdown period. So well done to you all students. So I'm very much assured of the fact that when we take our lectures and when we ask you to go ahead and do your reference work, you don't wait for the 7th hour. You actually must be doing it simultaneously of the reference material that we share or we ask you to refer. Very good, students. So moving on with what I have planned today for this presentation is 15th October is a day which reminds us of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. It reminds us of the Missile Man. This day holds a very special place in my life because being a literature student, I was very fond of reading. Right from the time I left my school my school days in the year 2007, and I stepped into my college days, I was an ardent reader. I like to read a lot, and that is the time when APJ Abdul Kalam, he took the place of the 11th president of India in the year 2002 to 2007. So just when I stepped out of my school days and I walked into college, I needed an inspiration. I needed a place, I needed a direction to go forward. I needed an idol basically, and this man certainly became a person whom I could idolize. He certainly became a person whom I could follow. APJ Abdul Kalam, he worked with the ISRO, that is the Indian Space Research Organization, and he also worked with the DRDO. And as we all know that APJ Abdul Kalam, he came from a very minimal or a very normal background, just the way in which you and me, we are living. So he was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth, but even in spite of that fact, he had dreams, and dreams that were not at all beatable by any common man. He had dreams which he sought after, which he ran after, and he made it a point to achieve those dreams. He was known as the Missile Man of India for his important role in the nation's civilian space program and military missile development. And that is the reason why, because of his involvement in this mission or because of his involvement in this program, in the missile development military task that was taken up, he was given the nickname of being a missile man. As he rightly said in one of his address, that education gives you wings to fly. Achievement comes out of fire in our subconscious mind that I will win. And in spite of the fact that when he gave his CT examination as a young child, we all know that we have various dreams, we have various aspirations. And APJ Abdul Kalam, he had only one dream all his childhood, and the dream was to pilot a firefighter plane. But when he went on to give his CT or his entrance examination for the same, he went on to know that he had failed in his attempt. But he did not give up, because he always believed in one fact, that failure, the word fail, it stands for first attempt in learning. And believing in that and taking into consideration the kind of ardent reader that he was, he did not give up his dream. And that is the reason why at the age of 73, he got the opportunity to co-pilot a firefighting plane. And that is the kind of achievement that we see in APJ Abdul Kalam's life. In the year 1998, he made significant contributions to India's Cochrane 2 nuclear tests. So if you have to see, if I tell you as an English teacher that, okay, students, in lieu of this World Students Day, why don't you write an essay on APJ Abdul Kalam. When you go on to do your research, you will text me back asking me, Miss, इन पर मैं क्या लिखूं? ये तो राइटर थे, तो राइटर पे मैं ऐसे लिखूं. मिस, ये तो रीडर भी थे, so as a reader I should write something upon him. मिस, ये तो एरोनॉटिकल इंजीनियर भी थे, so should we write something about him? मिस, ये तो साइंटिस्ट भी थे, so should we write something about him? Miss, in his childhood days he went door to door selling newspapers, dropping down newspapers, so should we write about that? And you will be amazed at the fact, or you will be amazed at the history through which our missile man APJ Abdul Kalam came from and went on to become the president of India. As a young child, as I already told you, when I walked out of college, when I walked out of my school days in the year 2007, I wanted to look on to somebody. I wanted to have somebody whom I could follow. And the thing was this, that I share my birthday with him. So today I am also celebrating my birthday. So because of this coincidence, I was madly and deeply passionate about this personality. I was in love with the way in which he addressed people. And these are certain quotes that I liked. If you ask me today, Miss, how many addresses have you seen of APJ Abdul Kalam? I will tell you probably all of them, because I loved the way in which he spoke. He was just not like that termed as a people's president. He was termed as a people's president because of the interaction that he had with people. When he stood on the podium, believe me, not a single person would fall asleep or would doze off in between of his lecture or in between of his address, because whatever he spoke out of his experiences. And as he rightly said, that knowledge without action is useless and irrelevant. Knowledge with action converts adversity into prosperity. And this proverb of his, or this saying of his, is very much relevant to us as students and teachers in 2020. 2020 के बिगनिंग से सिर्फ पहले 2 महीने हमारे नॉर्मल गए. उसके बाद we all know that in the month of March, out of nowhere on 26th of March, हम सबको कहा गया कि आप लोग घर में बैठे रहोगे. You will not move out of the house. ना राशन लाने के लिए, ना कोई और चीज करने के लिए. You will just be stranded in the house. So that was a kind of an adversity on us. लेकिन हमारी उस adversity को prosperity में कैसे बदलना है, या फिर हमने कैसे बदला है, इसका एक उदाहरण हमारे सामने आज ये Zoom का वेबिनार है. अगर हमें कहा जाता कि आप लॉकडाउन में हैं, कुछ नहीं करना है, और अगर हमने हमारा नॉलेज एक्शन में नहीं डाला होता, तो आज शायद से एज टीचर्स हम लोग लेक्चर्स कंडक्ट नहीं कर रहे होंगे, और आप एज स्टूडेंट्स आप लेक्चर्स अटेंड भी नहीं कर रहे होते. बट बिकॉज वी टुक आवर नॉलेज इनटू एक्शन, because we had strong support of our principal, of our dearest supervisor, the knowledge that we all had as a team at Padma Shri Bhavsayat College and at NG Vartak Junior College, we put that knowledge together. We strived hard to get an answer to this question, that when can we start taking lectures? And when we found the answer, I am very proud to tell you, students who have joined us today, and also the students who are with us for the past 1 year, for the past 3 years, that we were the first in our vicinity to start online lectures. And that is of zeal, and that is the zeal and the fervor that we have in our hearts and in our minds. And as students belonging to the AVA Education Society, you must really feel privileged, because our founder, Padma Shri Bhavsayat Vartak, he was also a kind of a personality similar to the person whom we are celebrating today. Here's another proverb which I like the most, that all birds find a shelter during rain, but eagle avoids rain by flying above the clouds. Problems are common, but attitude makes the difference. As you all see, कि बारिश के महीनों में जब आप छाता भूल जाते हो, कॉलेज में आते हो, और कॉलेज से घर जाने का जब वक्त आता है और बहुत जोर से बारिश हो रही है, you will see कि there are many students who are standing with you under the shade without an umbrella, but there will be some few who will crib कि यार मैं आज ही कैसे छाता लाना भूल गया यार. But there will be some others कि जिनके पास छाता नहीं है, पर फिर भी वो अपनी बैग निकाल के अपने सिर के ऊपर पकड़ के या फिर कोई चीज पकड़ के, you will see them nicely smiling and moving out in the rain and enjoying their life to the fullest. And that is what APJ Abdul Kalam taught us. And we should be proud of ourselves कि ऐसे एक personality के birthday के दिन to remember his birth anniversary, we are getting the privilege to celebrate our day, to celebrate World Students Day, because जिस फॉवर के साथ या फिर जिस enthusiasm के साथ उसने अपनी जिंदगी जी है, with the same enthusiasm he expected us as students and us as teachers who are working in this field of education to go ahead. One more proverb which I like the most is, you cannot change your future, but you can change your habits, and surely your habits will change your future. As an English teacher and also as a person who likes to have a lot of, I would say, timetables, who likes to have schedule in my life, I like to have order in my life. I always keep telling my students and the 11th standard kids especially who joined us just a week back, in my introduction session, I told them कि ये जो online teaching हो रहा है, this must be the first experience for them to have a new mobile phone all for themselves, to have a new number all for themselves. But the device which you have in your hand, it can make you and it can break you as well. So that is what APJ Abdul Kalam stressed in most of his addresses to students, कि आप जो भी habits में अपने आप को डालते हो, make sure that those habits will help you change your future. And this is one of the most important lesson that we as teachers also who are with us today listening to this address of mine, and you as students, I want you all to take away this lesson as well, कि हमारे जो habits होते हैं वो बुरे या अच्छे नहीं हो सकते. Those habits अगर वो हमारी जिंदगी में एक अच्छा मोड़ ला रहे हैं या फिर उस habits की वजह से हमारी जिंदगी में एक अच्छा कोई काम हो रहा है, then you should be proud of yourselves that you got into that habit, that you got into that routine of doing something that you like so much more. As APJ Abdul Kalam, he always said that we are all born with a divine fire in us. हम सब में एक spark होता है. Our efforts should be to give wings to this fire and fill the world with glow. As I told you, I gave you an example of a rainy day in our campus. Same is the example that I can give you in our day-to-day lives. Okay, now lockdown, all of a sudden जब शुरुआत हुआ, we were all certainly taken down by बहुत लोगों के जो ड्रीम्स एंड एस्पिरेशंस थे वो आउट ऑफ नोवेयर एंड सडनली ठप करके नीचे गिर गए. some people जो बहुत पॉपुलैरिटी तक पहुंच चुके थे, आउट ऑफ नोवेयर वो पॉपुलैरिटी डिसइंटीग्रेट हो गई एंड दे वर अ कॉमन पर्सन आउट in no time. And you see that there are still some people who stood out as heroes in this lockdown, who stood out as some people who will make a difference in the world. And that is a difference that APJ Abdul Kalam wanted us students to make a difference in our lives, not because we are young, but because in order कि हम जो change लाने की कोशिश हमारे जिंदगी में करेंगे इस वक्त में, इस टेंडर एज में, वही बदलाव हमें आगे जाके ऊंचाई तक पहुंचाएगा. As I already told to you that when I ask you, if at all I ask you to write an essay on Kalam, you will ask me or you will be in a deep question that what can we write about Kalam, because he was such a versatile person. So since today is not only celebrated as World Students Day, but as Nikhil sir rightly pointed out, it is also celebrated as Vachak Prerna Divas. That means to mark the birth anniversary of APJ Abdul Kalam all over the world, this also celebrated as a reading day. So in order to shed light on APJ Abdul Kalam as a writer, as an author, I have picked out certain books of his, which there are certain books out of this list which e-copies Stevina Miss, our librarian, has already shared with you all, and in the upcoming days some more e-copies of books written by APJ Abdul Kalam she will be sharing with you. So here are certain books. The first one that I had the privilege of reading was India 2020, a vision for the new millennium. Okay, now this particular book that I read, it was a groundbreaking documentary which outlined a simple question कि हम जो Indians हैं वो हमेशा ordinary चीजों के लिए क्यों settle होते हैं, या फिर जो चीजें हमारे पास है सिर्फ उनसे सहमत होके उनसे हम complete है ऐसे मान के हम लोग क्यों बैठ जाते हैं. In this documentary or in this novel or in this book of APJ Abdul Kalam, he has outlined or he has opened our eyes as readers and he has told us that we all have the extraordinary things within us. So why settle for the ordinary? And that is why this book, it sets apart from all the other books that I have read by this author, because he is asking us as readers, उन्होंने सिर्फ अपना experience उसमें नमूद नहीं किया है, but he has told us कि मैं भी एक ordinary इंसान था, but because of the dreams that I have, I became extraordinary. So as students, as readers of my book, don't settle for ordinary. You go for the extraordinary that you all have within yourselves. The next book that I had the privilege of reading was Wings of Fire, which is an autobiography. Autobiography मतलब ये किताब उन्होंने अपने खुद के जिंदगी पे लिखी है, और वो सफर ही क्या जो दूसरों के सामने हम पेश ना करें, या फिर वो जिंदगी ही क्या जो हम दूसरों के सामने शेयर ना करें, या फिर वो जिंदगी ही क्या जिससे हम दूसरों से कुछ चीजें सीख ना सके या फिर दूसरों को कोई चीज सिखा ना सके. And this is what Wings of Fire does. Through his autobiography, he has outlined so many anecdotes, so many incidents of his life, right from the death of his father to the failure that he had in his entrance exam to pilot the firefighter plane. He has mentioned it all, and through his experience, he has told us that failure वो कुछ नहीं होता है. Failure क्या चीज है? Failure, it is just a stepping stone to success. It is just one step towards something that we know is achievable in our lives. The next book that he wrote was Ignited Minds. Okay, Unleash the Power Within You. Now, this was a book in which he presents before us a statistics. And what is the statistics that he presents before us? He presents the statistics of our Indian population, और उस Indian population में वो एक दूसरा statistic हमारे सामने present करता है, जहां पर वो हमें बताता है कि out of the total population of India, almost 540 million to 20 million Indians, especially youth, they go out of India, they settle abroad in order to aspire their dreams, in order to achieve a career that they sought after. So in this book, you will see Ignited Mind, you will see APJ Abdul Kalam. He is urging young people, he is urging young readers to ignite their minds, to unleash the power that they have within themselves, and to go and explore in India itself, to make known the unknowns that we have. As a reader, when I read this book, I thought of all my friends, I thought of all those other people whom I know from my acquaintance who went out of India in order to settle down, in order to take further education. And I know that they are making a difference over there. But then I thought towards the end of this novel that if those people, just a few that I know, if they had to make that difference in India itself, it would have made a difference. So this book, it is an urge to students like us. It is an urge to young people like us to make a difference. You Are Born to Blossom. It is another book by APJ Abdul Kalam, wherein he is telling us that nobody can tell you what your worth is. आपकी खुद की जो वर्थ है वो आप खुद डिसाइड करते हो. अगर आपको कोई अगर आके एक दिन में अगर ये बोलता है कि तुम ऐसे ही हो, तुम किसी काम के नहीं हो, आपको उलट उनको जाके ये बोलना चाहिए कि मैं किस काम का हूँ, ये मैं आपको करके दिखाऊंगा या फिर साबित करके दिखाऊंगा. And that is what he is trying to outline in this book, कि कोई भी दूसरा इंसान other than you cannot tell you that you are worthless. It is only the fire within you. We all have a divine fire in us, and it is up to us how we ignite that fire into our lives and into the lives of others. Failure to Success. This is another book that he wrote along with the co-author Arun. And in this book, he has again outlined his experiences that were very close to his heart, his experiences which helped people to know that failure is nothing. It is just a way in which we are told कि okay, ये चीज अगर हमें हासिल करनी है तो इस रास्ते से अगर हम जाएंगे तो ये चीज हासिल नहीं होगी, so वो रास्ता eliminate होता है, so then you have to search for another way. So this book is for people who are aspiring to become big, to make a difference in the society. And the other book that I had the privilege of reading was Mission of India. Mission of India, in this, he is urging young minds, he's urging young youths to bring about a positive change in India. Now, if at all you catch hold of any of these 6 books, you will see that these books were written ranging from the year 1999 till the year 2002 or 2007. And in these years, APJ Abdul Kalam had a vision for 2020. He had a vision to make India a better place to be in by the year 2020. Unfortunately, the vision and the mission that he worked with, it has not been achieved till today. But it is not the end. The reason why we are celebrating his birth anniversary today, the reason why we are remembering him so much today is because he wanted people to make a difference even after he died. And that is the reason why in one of his address, as I already shared with you all, he told people straight away that when I die, please don't declare a public holiday, but work an extra day. So from this particular statement of his, a person talking about his death, but not talking about mourning over his death, but asking people to strive more, to work hard, to know, to get to know a better future. That is something that makes a difference. His famous quote, which you will find almost everywhere, even if you type APJ Abdul Kalam, when you were to have typed APJ Abdul Kalam, even now, when I started the quiz with you all, the first proverb that would have come across your screens would have been कि सपने वो नहीं होते जो आप सोने के बाद देखते हो, सपने वो होते हैं जो आपको सोने नहीं देते हैं. So APJ Abdul Kalam was actually a person of that kind who actually dreamt high. His dreams that he had, those dreams were unstoppable. You just imagine कि एक इंसान या फिर एक छोटा बच्चा जो अपनी पूरी टीनेज जिंदगी या फिर अपना पूरा चाइल्डहुड जिसने सिर्फ लोगों के घर के दरवाजे पर न्यूज़पेपर डिलीवरी करके अपना ज्यादा वक्त बिताया है, वो इंसान अगर प्रेसिडेंट हो सकता है इंडिया का, so you just think the power of dreaming big. And APJ Abdul Kalam, he is that kind of a person whom we are very privileged to know, जिसके वजह से life has made a difference. In order to shed light on the life of APJ Abdul Kalam, there was one small documentary which was released by the Times of India to reminiscence 15th of October in the year 2019. So I will just screen that video for all of you. The language of the audio is something that we are not familiar with, but there are captions down, so you can certainly catch hold of what is the content of the video. So here we go.
கோயிலில் துளிர்ப்பது பொய் கனவு, வெயிலிரவில் விழித்திருக்க செய்வதே கனவு. ஏலாலங்கடியோ ஏலாலங்கடியோ காத்து காட்டும் இந்த கதைய கொஞ்சம் பாரு, கதைய கொஞ்சம் பாரு. சேவல் முழிக்கும் முன்ன பிறக்கிறானே கண்ண இந்த சிறுவனோட கதைய கேளு எழுப்பிடுவண்ண எழுப்பிடுவண்ண மழையடிக்க உடல் நனைஞ்சு மரத்தடியில் ஒதுங்கினவன் சேதித்தால திறந்த பையன் அவனையும் தான் திறந்துக்கிட்டானே ஒரு விமானம் பத்தி ஒரு பத்தி ஒண்ணு அதில் இருக்க பக்கம் இருந்த படத்தை அவன் வெட்டி வீட்டில் ஒட்டிக்கிட்டானே கடல் காத்தில் ஏவுகண பறக்குமே அவன் கனவு எல்லாம் எண்ணி காற்று பழிக்குமே முதக்கீத்து வீழு முன்னே மொத்த சேதி படிச்சிடுவான் மிச்சம் இருக்கும் காகிதத்தில் ஏவுகண மடிச்சிடுவான் ஏலாரங்கடியோ ஏலாரங்கடியோ ஏலாரங்கடி ஏலாரங்கடியோ 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 ஏலாரங்கடி ஏலாரங்கடியோ புயலு காத்த எழுத்துக்கிட்டு மேக மேல ஏறிக்கிட்டு பருந்து ஒண்ணு பறந்திடத்தான் பார்த்து நின்னானே மிதிவண்டி ஏறிக்கிட்டு சூரியனே வாரது போல் விடியும் முன்ன சூரியனா வீசி போனானே எதிர்காத்த கிழிச்சுக்கிட்டு ஈருருளி மிதிச்சுக்கிட்டு வீடு வீடா சேதித்தால வீசி போனானே முதலாளா துறக்கிறதும் துறக்கிறதும் கனவுக்குள்ள கனவு கட்டி இருக்கிறதும் இந்தியாவுக்கு சுதந்திரமும் பிறக்கிறதும் பிறக்கிறதும் மூவண்ண கொடி இவன் வீட்டில் பறக்கிறதும் பறவை ஓட்டத்தான் தேர்வு ஒண்ணு எழுதுனா இறுதி சுற்றில் தோத்துத்தான் சோகத்தில திரும்புனா படிக்கணும்னு ஆர்வம் அவனை ஆட வைத்து தூக்குச்சு தோல்வி கூட வெற்றிதான் அன்னைக்குத்தான் தோணுச்சு புயலு காத்த எழுத்துக்கிட்டு மேக மேல ஏறிக்கிட்டு பருந்து ஒண்ணு பறந்திடத்தான் பார்த்து நின்னானே பறவைங்க எல்லாம் மழைக்கு கீழே பருந்து மட்டும் மேக மேல மனசு உயர வாழ்க்கை உயரும் சாட்சி சொன்னானே சேதித்தாடு போட்டவரே தலைப்பு சேதியான கதை குடியரசு தலைவராகி கொடியேற்றினது இந்த கதை உலக நம்ம என்று பார்க்க தலை நின்று நாம நிற்க இளைஞரெல்லாம் விழிச்சு கனவு காண சொல்லும் இந்த கதை குயிலில் குளிப்பது பொய் கனவு வெயிலிரவில் விழித்திருக்க செய்வது கனவு விழித்திருக்க செய்வதே கனவு.
So in the words of APJ Abdul Kalam, as he has rightly stated to us, that a person must have a vision. A person must have a vision for himself. He must have the passion to work for achieving the goals. He must have curiosity to travel an unexplored path and courage to take decisions. And it is with this particular saying that APJ Abdul Kalam made a difference in his life, and he has urged us as young students, as young Indian citizens, to make a difference, if not to the utmost, but at least to some extent, to make our lives self-sustainable, so that we have a better future, not only for ourselves, but for our generations to come after us. So now, before I could just end this address of mine, this is another small activity that I want all of you all to do with me. I have already done this activity, and I will tell you why I'm asking you to do this activity as I proceed further. I will request all of you all to take a small piece of paper, okay? Later on, you can decorate that paper, or you can stick it somewhere. But for now, since I had not told you all already, take a piece of paper with you all, and take a pen. If you don't have a piece of paper and you are just sitting with your mobile phone somewhere, you take out your notepad, or you take out some place wherein you can type, okay? In that paper or in that notepad, wherever you are typing or you are writing, you write down your name like this, okay? One below the other, just the way that I have placed my name alphabet. U in one line, then L in the next, then R in the next, then I in the next, K in the next, and A in the next. Write your own name. So if your name is Raj, then you write R-A-J, one below the other. Just write it quickly. Once you are done writing your name, just write, type done in the chat box, so I know that I can go ahead. Okay, now the next thing is very interesting to do. This will not, as an English teacher, I'm bound to take you somewhere towards the path of learning English. Forgive me for that, but I have a different intention of doing this activity with you. Okay, so now after you have written your name one below the other, the alphabets, you put a dash after every alphabet. Okay, मतलब राज लिखा है तो have you done? Have you? If you're done, please type done in the chat box. Okay, so after this, what I want you all to do is, इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज में बहुत एडजेक्टिव्स होते हैं. एडजेक्टिव्स मतलब क्या? वो वर्ड्स जो डिस्क्राइब करते हैं किसी चीज को या फिर किसी इंसान को. ओके, तो आप सब ने अपने पेपर पे अपना खुद का नाम लिखा है. ओके, सो हर एक अल्फाबेट के सामने उस अल्फाबेट से शुरू होने वाला एक एडजेक्टिव आप आपके वर्ड के उस अल्फाबेट के सामने लिखो. जैसे मैंने लिखा है U फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, L फॉर लविंग, R फॉर रेडियंट, I for impeccable, K for kind-hearted, and A for adequate. जैसे मैंने अपने आप को अपने नाम के थ्रू जैसे डिस्क्राइब किया है, मैं बहुत अंडरस्टैंडिंग हूँ इसलिए मैंने यू के लिए अंडरस्टैंडिंग लिखा है. I think that I am a loving person, I am a lovable person, people like to love me, I like to love people, or I like to get to know people. I am radiant, मतलब मेरे साथ जो भी लोग होते हैं, they are fun loving or they like to spend time with me. I am impeccable. So ऐसे जो भी adjectives आपके ध्यान में आएंगे, you write those adjectives in front of your name or in front of that alphabet that you have written for yourself. Once you are done, just type a done in the chat box so I know that I can go ahead to the next stage. Okay, some students are really quick. Priyanshu Pal, your name is big enough, but you have managed to write adjectives for yourself really quick. That is impressive. Very good. Okay, so to move forward with this activity, अभी ये जो adjectives आपने लिखे हैं शायद से because you were not informed well in advance, you must have written it in your mobile phones या फिर आपने एक small से piece of paper पे लिखे होंगे. But what I want to do, I want you all to do today as a remembrance of 15th October, as a remembrance कि आपको एक बदलाव लाना है. I want you all to do this one activity after our session is over. You go in a quiet place into your room probably. You take a nice piece of paper, a decorative paper if you want. और ये जो आपने adjectives अपने आप के लिए लिखे हैं, वो adjectives वापस उस paper पे आप लिखो, okay? You decorate that paper in the best way that you can. और आपके रूम में वो एक एरिया होगी जहां पर आपको बैठना बहुत पसंद है, जहां पर आपको लगता है कि वहां पर बैठने से मेरी पढ़ाई अच्छी होती है या फिर वहां पे बैठने से मुझे बहुत अच्छे आइडियाज आते हैं. उस कोने में जाके ये जो पेपर है जिस पर आपने आपका खुद का नाम लिखा है और जिस पर आपने अपने लिए बहुत अच्छे एडजेक्टिव्स लिखे हैं, you stick that piece of paper over there. You know what this paper will do? This paper will remind you of one saying that nobody can hurt me without my permission. महात्मा गांधी का ये जो saying है या फिर ये जो proverb है, APJ Abdul Kalam, he held it very close to his heart right from the time he came into the understanding कि लोग बहुत सारे लोग आएंगे, बहुत सारे लोग जाएंगे, बट अल्टीमेटली वो एक इंसान जो मुझे डिस्टर्ब कर सकता है या फिर वो एक इंसान जो मेरे परमिशन के खिलाफ मुझे दुख दे सकता है, वो एक इंसान सिर्फ मैं खुद हूँ. Okay, so this poster of your name, of the adjectives that you have written for yourself, this poster will remind you every day of your life that your life is precious, that you are created for a purpose, that you have a future जिस future में आपको difference करके दिखाना ही है, भले वो difference लोगों के सामने आए या फिर वो difference अपनी जिंदगी में खुद आप experience करके अपनी जिंदगी आप दूसरों से अच्छी बना सको, but that difference is going to be worth it. So I want all of you all today, as I end with this session, small session of mine, I want you all to take this thing with you all, that you are created precious. You all have that, in the words of APJ Abdul Kalam, you have that spark in you. You just have to ignite that spark at one point in time so that you will know that what beautiful things you can do. And remember the saying of Mahatma Gandhi, which I also keep in mind always, that nobody can hurt me without my permission. So have a good day, and I once again thank our principal, Mrs. Sarika Rawat, our supervisor, Mrs. Sheetal Poradkar, the organizing team, Mr. Nikhil and Mrs. Stevina, for giving me this opportunity to give this kind of address to our students and teacher. Thank you so much.
सभी छात्र, आज आपको बताने को मेरे को बहुत आनंद हो रहा है कि आज एक मीठा सुयोग है, और वो सुयोग ये है कि आज डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम सर का जन्मदिन और अपने अध्यापिका जिन्होंने अपने विचार आज प्रकट किए, हम सभी को मार्गदर्शन किया, वो उल्रिका मैम, इनका भी जन्मदिन आज है, तो ये मीठा सुयोग है. उल्रिका जी, सभी छात्र, सभी अध्यापक, सभी छात्र आपको इस जन्मदिन के लिए शुभकामनाएं देते हैं. अभी आज के इस कार्यक्रम के आभार मैं व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं. आज के वाचन प्रेरणा दिन के अवसर पर कलाम सर के विचार हमारे सामने अध्यापिका उल्रिका मैम ने प्रस्तुत किए. कलाम सर ने भविष्य में कैसे छात्र को देखा, उनकी छात्रों से क्या उम्मीदें थी, इसकी विस्तृत जानकारी दी। कलाम सर के जीवन से छात्रों से सवाल पूछे और इंटरेक्टिव सेशन दिया। मैं महाविद्यालय की ओर से आपको विशेष धन्यवाद बोलना चाहता हूँ। महाविद्यालय की प्रधानाचार्य सारिका रावत मैडम और निरीक्षिका शीतल कोरड़कर मैम, जिनके विशेष मार्गदर्शन से यह कार्यक्रम संपन्न हुआ। सभी छात्र, अध्यापक, इन सभी को विशेष रूप से धन्यवाद बोलना चाहता हूँ और आज का कार्यक्रम समापन हुआ ऐसे घोषित करता हूँ। सभी को धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's have too much of oil.
Unnati miss.